The Young and the Restless scoop for Tuesday, September 9th, reveals Mariah Copeland will finally tell Tessa Porter the truth. Also coming up, Daniel Romalotti will tell Tessa she's beautiful. Plus, Nick Newman will warn Phyllis Summers, and Kyle Abbott will try to explain his actions to Claire Newman. Y&R spoilers tease the episode will begin with a song. Tessa Porter will sing it, as Daniel strums along on the guitar. After she finishes singing, she'll tell Daniel everything about the song is perfect. It's too good to keep to ourselves. Tessa will ask who they should play the song for first. "I'm not ready to play this in front of anyone," he'll reply. He'll also say he feels like he owes her so much. She made the song into something beautiful, just like her. "You said I was beautiful, thank you. It felt really good to hear someone say that," Tessa will reply. Then a tearful Mariah will come along, and Tessa will ask if she's okay. After Daniel leaves, Mariah will say she needs to go away for a while. Her therapist suggested a clinic in Boston, but an angry Tessa will say it doesn't matter that she's going to Boston. "You're already miles away. Why not just trust me to tell me whatever it is you did?" So Mariah will finally confess. "I tried to kill a man," she'll tell a shocked Tessa. At Crimson Lights, Claire will continue to berate Kyle for not giving her any details about the deal he made with her grandfather. To Claire, it's all about trust. "Why did you lie to me and then excuse it by saying you were just protecting me?" So she'll want to hear about the deal he made with Victor Newman. "I put it in writing that if I did anything to betray you, I would pay him $5 million and leave Genoa City forever," Kyle will tell her. Claire will admit she's conflicted. Part of her is blown away by what he did. However, he put a price tag on their relationship. "It may seem that way now, but I was desperate to get Victor off my back," he'll explain. "My heart was in the right place." But Claire will say he kept the secret to protect himself. "If the truth came out about that kiss, it could have cost you $5 million. Kyle will say he didn't care about the money, and he'll swear he's not keeping anything else from her. He knows he's broken her trust, and Claire will say she doesn't know if that's something they can fix. Kyle will try to take Claire's hand, but she'll pull it away. He'll tell her he hopes that, given time, they can go back to where they were before he screwed everything up. Meanwhile, Nick will stand at the lookout, enjoying the view. Phyllis will come along and say she got his message and will ask him what's up. Nick will say he wants to know what Kane has promised her so he can keep her out of prison. "Did Kane recruit you for your computer skills?" he'll ask. "I assume he already asked you to look into AI and learn everything you can about it. Tell me I'm wrong." Phyllis will push back, and Nick will say he's trying to help her, and he'll tell her she needs to cut ties with Kane. Nick will say the AI that Kane has can destabilize corporate finances. Then he can swoop in and take over the companies. Phyllis will say he's been watching too many sci-fi movies. "Anyone found guilty of this, and their accomplices will go to prison for 10 years minimum," Nick will say. "I can't watch you go to prison. I won't do it." Phyllis will promise him she hasn't committed any crimes, but she'll also tell Nick she thinks Kane has pulled the plug on his plans. He's more worried about his relationship with his kids. Everything is on hold for now. Phyllis will say Kane never mentioned the nuclear option of AI. "Thank you for saving me from myself." Finally, Nick will tell Phyllis he needs her to help save Genoa City. "Anything Kane shares with you, you share with me," he'll suggest. Phyllis will promise she'll keep in the loop. After Nick leaves, she'll call Kane. "You son of a bitch, why didn't you tell me what you were getting me into?" Keep reading The Soap Scoop for Young and The Restless spoilers and news. And make sure to also join our Y&R Facebook group or leave us a reply in our comments section. But if you miss an episode, don't fret. You can watch The Young and the Restless online at cbs.com. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel Pulse Canvas. It's me, Julie here. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Keep watching. So let's dive into today's video. The anniversary of The Young and the Restless is March 26th, but the show's new season, 53, technically starts on Tuesday, October 7th. Soap Central has the scoop on what viewers can expect to see with the Abbotts, Newmans, Phyllis, Devon, Kane, and their friends and foes as Y&R begins a new chapter. The Young and the Restless, which debuted on March 26, 1973, marks its 53rd season on October 7th, which is the 36th season as daytime TV's #1 drama. This fall, according to a release by CBS. Relationships are tested, unexpected romances flourish, and a puzzling mystery leads to shocking revelations. Watch for Victor and Jack to be faced with deciding if they can put their epic rivalry aside so they can protect their legacies. Meanwhile, Nick and Sharon will find themselves on a dangerous path when a troubling message sends them on a trip looking for answers. Billy and Kane's power struggle intensifies with the return of Jill. Nate decides if his future includes Audra. Also, Claire finds herself torn between two suitors. Additionally, Christine and Danny plan for their long-awaited wedding, airing in November. The previously announced Tamara Braun and Roger Howarth are going to be joined by Matt Cohen as Detective Burrow. In addition to her turn as both Carly and Kim on General Hospital, Braun is known for her run as Ava on Days of Our Lives. Lucas Adams, who played Braun's TV son Trip on Days, is joining Y&R as Noah Newman, the role last played by Rory Gibson, who now plays GH's Michael. Sienna is set to be tied to several key characters, and that connection will cause a stir. Meanwhile, Howarth's character's sudden presence will raise more questions than answers. The late William J. Bell and Lee Phillip Bell created Y&R. Josh Griffith is the show's head writer and executive producer. Welcome to the Young and the Restless Daily YAPP for a quick, and by that I mean you're already halfway done, recap of the most amazing, or what the heck did we just watch moments on today's episode. Let's get to it. On The Young and the Restless, Audra seems to be losing her touch. The force to be reckoned with has had her share of insta-feuds when someone crosses her. But today, she melted down. And yes, horrible timing for Sally that it's the day of the launch party. And no, she doesn't have a real right to feel sorry for herself. But with her guard down the way it is, things seem like they're about to get worse. Because Kyle promised to destroy Audra. And voila, up popped Holden with a story that would apparently destroy her. So is it really happening? With all of these people talking about destroying Audra and running her out of town, can they really do it? And if so, which one of them will succeed? Billy called it correctly when he asked Sally why he'd hire Audra if she can't control herself during the Abbott-Com launch party. Flip a table? Throw a drink? You'd think her BFF would know Audra's style is much more demure but vicious. Other than when she's been vulnerable with Nate and kind to Amy, Audra's been doing nothing but digging holes for herself to be buried in since she got to Genoa City a few years ago. Is that where this is headed? Or are we going to find some sympathy for Audra with everyone out to get her? Between Victor, Victoria, Claire, Kyle, and Holden, actively trying to motivate her to leave on her own accord, and nearly everyone else already hostile towards her, Audra might not have anywhere else to go but down. Audra's always seemed like the dangerous one to tangle with, but is she the one actually in danger now? Want more details? We got you! Soap Central has the best full Y&R recaps on the internet. You can even go back over 30 years and read each and every one of them. If you can't wait until the next episode, we have daily spoilers too. And whatever you do this weekend, do not, seriously, do not forget to read the 2 scoops for some laughs in the as close as we can come to being a watching party without actually being a show. And the best part is, if you agree or disagree, we want to know. As always, share your comments below. There's been a lot of chaos on The Young and the Restless the past couple months with the reveal of Kane Ashby as Mystery Man Aristotle Dumas. He's got everyone in Genoa City running scared because he wants to take over all the big businesses. Longtime rivals Victor and Jack have been coming up with ways to try to one-up each other while simultaneously trying to outsmart Kane. But it feels like the best possible solution would be for them to put their differences aside and join forces to defeat Kane. On last Friday's episode of The Young and the Restless, Victor met with Adam, Nick, and Victoria to discuss what to do about Kane. The hot topic of the meeting was AI and how Victor wants to get the AI software out of Kane's hands so Newman Enterprises can use it themselves. Nick and Victoria both were uncomfortable with this idea, pointing out that it's unethical and illegal. But since Adam is very much like Victor, he was ready to jump on board with it. While Billy has been trying to align himself with Kane on The Young and the Restless, In order to have a better chance at reclaiming Chancellor Industries, Jack and Diane had a disagreement about it, since Jack is friends with Chancellor's CEO, Nicky. But it just feels like this storyline would be so much more entertaining if Victor and Jack would team up in order to overthrow Kane and keep him away from their respective companies. It's always fun to see two rivals team up to overtake a mutual enemy. Jack might be somewhat agreeable to the idea, but Victor would probably need an incentive to encourage him, since he's the one who ended their truce and restarted their feud in 2004, when Jack overdosed on pills to try to sober up a drunken Nicky. Victor and Jack did team up in the past on The Young and the Restless, when Jordan kidnapped their grandson, Harrison. It actually worked out well, so why not do it again? They are two powerful heads of major Genoa City corporations with decades of business experience, so it would be great if they collaborated to find the most sensible solution to serve Kane best. If only they could put their feud aside long enough to do it. Many fans would love to see them as allies for a change, even if it's only temporary. It would be similar to what longtime enemies Sharon and Phyllis did when they were kidnapped and held prisoner in an abandoned mental institution. They were forced to work together to survive the horrifying experience. Now, let's see Victor and Jack come together with the common goal of bringing down Kane. In the September 8th episode of The Young and the Restless, Claire confronted Kyle after Victor let slip that he'd made a secret deal to prove his trustworthiness. For Claire, who was already questioning her boyfriend's proposal, the revelation raised deeper doubts about whether Kyle is protecting her or just himself. Claire stopped by Victor's office, looking for guidance after struggling with Kyle's recent confession about Nice and his sudden proposal. Instead of reassurance, she got a startling admission from her grandfather. Kyle had passed the test by making a deal with him. Though Victor refused to share the details, the hint was enough to leave Claire rattled. Already skeptical of Kyle's motives, Claire began to wonder if the mustache had been right about him all along. Later, Claire confronted Kyle directly. He tried to smooth things over with apologies and promises, but she cut him off. The timing of his marriage proposal had already felt like damage control after his dishonesty, and now learning about a hidden bargain with Victor only deepened her mistrust. For Claire, the issue wasn't just the lies. It was what those lies revealed about how Kyle handles pressure. She pressed him to admit whether his choices were about protecting her heart or preserving his own reputation. Kyle has been desperate to prove his devotion, but every new revelation only widens the gap between them. Claire's past has made trust fragile, and Kyle's secrecy is pushing her back into old doubts. With Victor standing in the middle and Audra circling, the stakes are high for whether this couple can recover. If Claire decides Kyle's deal with her grandfather proves he can't be trusted, their relationship could unravel before it ever has the chance to stabilize. Michelle Stafford debuted as Phyllis Summers over 30 years ago on The Young and the Restless. The three-time Daytime Emmy winner has come and gone from Genoa City a few times over the decades, but her passion for playing the fiery redhead has never wavered. The fan favorite recently sat down and did a deep dive on her character, and Soap Central's got the highlights. Stafford invited her social media followers to send her some questions. Not surprisingly, she received hundreds of inquiries about her and her life on The Young and the Restless. The actress answered some of them in a two-part social post on Instagram. Fans want to know what Stafford's favorite storyline has been. "There are many. I have many, quite honestly," she said. "I love the Nick, Joshua Morrow, and Phyllis affair. I love it because it was very, very odd that these two characters would come together. These two characters who had been on the show. I think we'd both been on the show for 10 years before they put us together. So I loved that. I loved anything I did with Diane, who's played by Susan Walters," Stafford continued. "There are various scenes that I've loved with Phyllis and Jack, Peter Bergman. All the storylines were great, but there are various shows that we did that I was like, wow, I really loved, doing that particular show," Stafford added. She's fond of what's going on in Phyllis's life right now. "I like that Phyllis is every day sort of fighting for her life," she adds. "It takes a lot of energy to play, but I like it." Somebody asked, "Are you happy?" Stafford shared. "I am basically a very happy person. So yes to that question. Another question was, if you weren't an actress, what would you be doing? The young and the restless star says that she had no other occupation in mind had acting not worked out. I had no backup plan, she reveals. I don't know what I would be doing. I don't know. I don't know. Again, I had no backup plan. Stafford was asked if she had ever acted in a bad storyline, and what was the worst storyline she'd been in. Okay, she responded. This is the deal. There's not a bad storyline. I could like a storyline, and you could hate it. My job is actually not to have an opinion of the storyline. One follower inquired if Stafford felt bad that many of the other female characters on the show are in happy relationships, but Phyllis is not. Phyllis can be happy for a little bit, like Phyllis can win battles, the actress suggests. She usually doesn't win the war, Stafford adds. I love to play a tormented Phyllis. I prefer it's more fun as an actor to play, like a character that's trying to work something out or is tormented in some way. Young and restless fans, buckle up, because Noah Newman is coming back to Genoa City with a storyline that's about to shake everything up. Spoilers reveal that the role has been recast with Lucas Adams, and that can only mean one thing. The writers are gearing up for a massive plot twist that ties Noah directly into Mariah Copeland's unraveling secrets. For months, Mariah has been carrying the crushing weight of something that happened during a business trip, a secret so dark that she hasn't breathed a word to anyone, not even to Sharon, her trusted confidant, or to Tessa, the wife who knows her best. Instead, she's been pushing everyone away while trying desperately to keep up appearances for baby Aria. But the cracks are showing, and Noah's return might be the breaking point. The whispers trace back to a wild night that Mariah has tried to bury. A drunken encounter with a stranger named Michael Swan left her shaken, and possibly guilty of something far more serious. Though the full truth hasn't come out, it's becoming clear that Mariah may have crossed a line that can't be undone. And while guilt eats away at her, the silence is tearing apart her marriage to Tessa. Enter Noah Newman. As both Mariah's protective brother and Tessa's ex, Noah has the perfect vantage point to notice what others have missed. This new version of Noah won't let Mariah brush him off like she has with Sharon and Tessa. He's asking the tough questions, and his persistence may finally force Mariah to open up. And that's when the shocking confession could hit, that Mariah took a man's life that night and has been hiding the truth ever since. If she admits this, Noah will be completely blindsided, but also torn. He knows exposing Mariah could destroy Sharon, devastate Tessa, and leave little Aria without her mother. In classic Newman fashion, Noah may decide to protect his sister no matter the cost. But keeping a secret this explosive in Genoa City never ends well. With the Newman family's long history of cover-ups, from Adam's darkest crimes to Victor's manipulations, it's only a matter of time before someone discovers the truth, and when they do, the fallout could be catastrophic. Noah's return isn't just about reconnecting with family, it's about loyalty, morality, and the dangerous cost of secrets. Fans should prepare themselves, because his comeback is about to ignite one of Y&R's most dramatic family battles yet. Young and the Restless. 3-week spoilers for Sept. 26, 2025, C. Adam Newman really angry and Claire Grace Newman lashing out. On Monday, September 8th, Audra Charles is blabbing to Sally Spectra about her Clare and Kyle Abbott issues. Sally just wants Audra to relax and get ready for the Abbott.com launch party. Sally tells Audra that she needs to steer clear of Kyle and Claire because they are on the guest list. Holden Novak rolls up on Audra after Sally leaves, and Audra starts going off about Claire. Holden tells her to knock it off and shut up about Claire. Audra laughs at Holden because he thinks he stands a chance with Claire. Holden then threatens Audra, saying he will tell her boss, Sally, about what they did in LA. He tells Audra to leave Claire and Kyle alone, or else he will spill the beans on how he cleaned up Audra's illegal mess. Holden vows that Audra will be done in Genoa City if he tells her big dirty secret. Sally vents to Billy Abbott about Audra as they're getting ready for the Abbott.com launch party on Monday. Sally is afraid Audra won't behave at the event. Billy thinks Audra is a problem, but Sally thinks she'll chill out. Billy loans Sally a Catherine Chancellor heirloom brooch for the event for good luck. Across town, Claire tells Victor Newman she's upset that Kyle kissed Audra and that Audra has been taunting Claire. She's also confused by Kyle's proposal and wonders if Victor was right about Kyle all along. She's surprised when Victor tells Claire that Kyle passed his test and proved himself. Victor thinks Kyle loves Claire and tells her that Kyle even offered him a deal that really impressed Victor. It also impressed him that Kyle never told Claire about it, but Victor won't tell Claire what the deal is either. Of course, Victor's talking about that $5 million contract, so he tells Claire to listen to her heart and go talk to Kyle. Meanwhile, Kyle talks to Victoria Newman about overstepping in his efforts to expose Audra's scheme because Kyle never wanted to hurt Claire. Victoria advises him to give her daughter time. Kyle and Victoria are both worried about Audra lashing out now that she has nothing to lose. Victoria tells Kyle that his proposal to Claire came at the worst time. Kyle talks to Victoria about stopping Audra from making any more trouble for him and Claire. Victoria promises to check in on how Claire is feeling about Kyle. Then Claire shows up, and Kyle apologizes for pressuring her with the proposal. But Claire is tired of the secrets and demands to know what deal Kyle made with Victor. Victoria goes to talk to Victor about Claire and Kyle. She is shocked that her dad is actually supporting that couple. Victor agrees with Victoria that Audra is a huge problem, that they all need gone. On Tuesday, September 9th, tells Claire what he and Audra did in LA and says it wasn't strictly legal. Claire wants to know if Holden is trying to protect himself, Audra, or someone else. Holden is very worried that Claire won't see him the same way she does now if she finds out the truth about what happened. But Claire is going to keep pressing, and it looks like Holden is going to come clean next week. Then Kyle, Claire, and Holden have a very tense run-in. Also on Tuesday, Tessa Porter tells Daniel Romalotti she cannot wait to see Danny Romalotti's reaction when Daniel plays his first song for his dad. Daniel tells Tessa that the lyrics and melody she created are beautiful, just like her. Way to get his flirt on. Meanwhile, Mariah Copeland makes a confession to Tessa, and we wonder if they are going to move from separation to divorce. Nick Newman warns Phyllis Summers what Kane Ashby is up to, and we think Nick is again going to tell Phyllis to cut bait and run, get away from Kane. But of course, she's not going to listen. Claire and Kyle struggle to see eye to eye. The question is, will Kyle spill about that contract with Victor or keep it in his pocket? We do think Claire may flip when she hears it, but we think it was made in all sincerity. Wednesday, September 10th. Somebody ruins Billy and Sally's big launch night for AbbotCom. Looks like Kane because Sally and Billy arrive at Society expecting guests, decor, champagne, and music, and they only find Kane there. Sally is absolutely horrified, and Kane says he's glad they made it because he was starting to get worried. Phyllis grabs control of something, and Jack Abbott gets a cryptic message that worries him on Wednesday. We all know Kane is up to no good, and Victor's goal is to use Kane's AI software to ruin Jabot and Jack permanently. On Thursday, September 11th, Billy has to answer to Jack, and it may be about the launch party going off the rails. Phyllis is busy pushing Sally's buttons, giving her advice she doesn't want or need. Again, this may be about the ruination of the AbbotCom launch. Nick entrusts Sharon Newman with a secret. We're wondering if Nick is going to tell Sharon about the alliance that Victor is pressing to get with Kane and his super-duper AI to go after Jabot and Jack. On Friday, September 12th, Victor and Michael Baldwin are getting closure on unfinished business. We're sure this is about Michael quitting on Victor and considering this offer from Kane. Speaking of Kane, he gets somebody new in his corner, maybe Sally, maybe Michael. Sally is facing an ethical issue, and it looks like something's going on with AbbotCom, Kane, Jack, and Billy that makes her feel very uncomfortable as the new CEO. Let's talk about September 15th through the 19th and beyond as we head into fall. Kane takes the next steps in his big plan. After gaining a new ally, Kane is ready to move forward. Michael considers the risky move of going to work for Kane, and of course, Victor wants him to spy while he is there. Sally is going to face personal and professional struggles. Of course, Kane is causing problems with Sally's business. Billy is making risky moves and tangling with Chelsea Lawson Newman and Adam's relationship, which could mess with Billy's relationship with Sally on Young and the Restless. Phyllis is pushing her limits, pushing Sally's buttons. She's in hot water with Kane and pushing Nick too. Also, we can't see Phyllis sitting back and doing nothing while Danny and Christine Williams get married. So, Phyllis is just unhinged. We are going to have Michael hiding a secret from Lauren Fenmore this fall, and it may be that he's spying on Kane for Victor. Audra goes to Nate Hastings and begs for another chance. We'll see Billy meddling in Adam and Chelsea's relationship. Plus, Claire gets an interesting invitation from Holden. The wedding planning for Danny and Christine's big day takes an unexpected turn, and we'll have to see if Phyllis is behind this. In the tangled web of Genoa City, Kyle Abbott is playing a dangerous and patient game. While he may still appear to be the devoted fiancé, eagerly planning his future with Claire, the truth is far darker. The man Claire believes she has successfully deceived is now fully aware of her monumental betrayal, her secret marriage to Holden, and the child they share. But instead of an emotional outburst, Kyle's profound heartbreak has crystallized into a calculated plan for vengeance, and he is meticulously setting a trap she will never see coming. This isn't just about a hidden marriage, it's a meticulously planned corporate conspiracy. Claire's ultimate prize was never just Kyle's heart, it was Jabot. Marrying into the Abbott family was her key to gaining insider access and influence, with Holden intended to be her partner in dismantling the company from within. However, she severely miscalculated her co-conspirator. Holden has become a liability, his jealousy and impatience threatening to unravel their entire scheme. His constant demands for Claire to confess and end her charade with Kyle are not just born of a bruised ego, but a recklessness that Kyle now plans to exploit. Kyle's world shattered when he followed Claire and overheard the devastating truth during one of her clandestine meetings with Holden. Every whispered word confirming her double life, the vows she'd already taken, the child she'd hidden, was a nail in the coffin of their relationship. But in that moment of ultimate betrayal, the loving groom was replaced by a cunning strategist. He realized a simple confrontation would allow Claire to spin more lies. Instead, he chose silence, allowing her to believe she is still in control while he gathers the evidence to ensure her downfall is absolute. Claire's plan was flawed from the start because she underestimated the Abbott family's intuition. Diane Jenkins, a master of manipulation herself, recognized the red flags in Claire's too perfect facade almost immediately, voicing her concerns to Jack. While Jack remained cautiously optimistic for his son's happiness, he and Diane have been quietly observing, their suspicions forming a silent barrier of protection around Kyle and the family legacy. They know an attack on Kyle is an attack on Jabot, and they stand ready. Kyle is now the puppet master, allowing Claire and Holden enough rope to hang themselves. He is subtly stoking Holden's impatience, knowing the man's temper will inevitably lead to a fatal mistake. The question is no longer if Claire's empire of lies will collapse, but when Kyle will choose to detonate it. Her desperation may even lead her to flee Genoa City with her son, an act that would serve as the final damning piece of evidence. Claire is about to learn that the silence of a betrayed Abbott isn't weakness, it's the calm before a storm of perfectly executed revenge. Next week on The Young and the Restless, Holden will reveal some details about his past. Here's a look ahead at the episodes we'll see from Monday, September 8th to Friday, September 12th, 25. Next week, on The Young and the Restless, Daniel seems to be amazed by the talented person that Tessa is. He recently realized while talking to his dad, Danny Romalotti, that he might be developing feelings for his guitar teacher and friend. While at Catherine Chancellor Park, Tessa gushes to Daniel about her excitement that he is ready to play his first song for his musician father and is sure that he will be proud of his son. But Daniel is in awe of the woman in front of him and tells her so. Will Tessa reciprocate Daniel's feelings? Meanwhile, Sally and Billy are gearing up for the launch party of Abbott Communications, which is set to happen this week. Or is it? When they arrive at what they think is their party, they are shocked. Decked out in the dawn of TV-themed attire, they arrive at their party at Society expecting a full house. Instead, they are jaw-dropped to find the place nearly empty, except for one solo guest, not necessarily of honor, waiting at the bar. "Hey guys, glad you made it. I was starting to get worried. Kane quips. Clare has had enough of Audra Charles meddling in her life and wants some ammo to use against her. She has been pressing Holden to share what he knows about his ex and what went down in LA when they were together, but he has been very reluctant to open up. All we've known so far is that he helped Audra out of a situation with Tucker. Holden and Clare talk again next week, and he admits that what went down back then wasn't totally legal. Clare wonders if Holden is keeping it a secret to protect himself, Audra, or both. "If you knew the truth about what happened, I'm afraid it might change the way that you see me," Holden tells her. The Young and the Restless scoop for the week of September 8th reveals Audra Charles had better start watching her back. Also coming up, Sally Spectra will find herself with a moral dilemma. Plus, Mariah Copeland will make a disclosure, and Nick Newman will share a secret with Sharon Newman. Y&R spoilers tease Mariah will run into Tessa Porter at the park, and she'll make a confession to her estranged wife. However, will she finally tell Tessa what she did to the old guy when she was away on business? At Society, Sally and Billy Abbott will reel when they walk inside and realize the launch party is a bust. They'll quickly learn Kane Ashby was the architect of the disaster. Later, Sally will be faced with an ethical predicament. But what will it be? Meanwhile, Nick will fill Sharon in on the latest Kane developments. He'll tell her all about the powerful AI he has access to and how his father wants to get hold of it. Nick will also talk about the plan for him to get closer to Phyllis Summers to glean more information from her. So, how will Sharon react to that? Other Y&R spoilers tease Clare Newman will hit Kyle Abbott with another accusation. Plus, Jack Abbott will receive an alarming message, and Kane will gain a new ally. Finally, Audra has been threatened by multiple people on numerous occasions in the past couple of days. Kyle has warned he's going to run her out of town. Clare has told Audra to watch her back. And Victor Newman also wants her gone from Genoa City. On Monday's Y&R, Audra will kid with Sally that she hopes Clare doesn't spike her drink with poison at the launch party. Then Holden Novak will tell Audra to leave Clare alone. Otherwise, he'll blab about what she did in LA. Also, a new cop will arrive in town this October, when Matt Cohen joins the cast as Detective Jack Burrow. So, all of this seems to indicate that Audra could be on her way out. But will she leave of her own volition? Or in a coffin? Hey Y&R fans! Are you enjoying the new CBS Sudser Beyond the Gates? Then make sure you join our free Facebook group. Keep reading the Soap Scoop for Young and the Restless spoilers and news. And make sure to also join our Y&R Facebook group or leave us a reply in our comments section. But if you miss an episode, don't fret. You can watch The Young and the Restless online at cbs.com. Sally's a good friend, and Audra shouldn't sabotage it. Audra has been sabotaging a lot lately. She ruined her relationship with Nate over a business deal with Victor. Now she's trying to get revenge on Clare and Kyle, even though she's on the inside out. Even Holden wants nothing to do with her. Audra should hold on to her friendship with Sally on The Young and the Restless. Audra is spiraling lately. She's ready to strike back against Kyle and Clare. But especially Clare, since she told Nate what Audra did behind his back. She doesn't have many people on her side. Holden doesn't want to get sucked into Audra's orbit anymore. He doesn't want to risk ruining his friendship with Clare. Audra's only friend these days is Sally. She tells Audra exactly what she needs to hear. Sally doesn't want Audra to go back to her scheming ways, but it's the only way that she knows how to operate. Sally hopes that she can rein in Audra and help her focus on her launch party, but a distraction isn't going to help. She's going to exchange words with Holden, which is going to send her into a tizzy. He reminded her that there's nothing left for her in Genoa City. On the Monday, September 8th episode of Y&R, Sally and Audra caught up at Society. Sally believes they're a great team, but she thinks they will be even better once they start working together. Audra doesn't want to attend the launch party because she doesn't want to take the spotlight away from her friend. She also doesn't want to be a vibe killer. But Sally wants her friend there. She also wants to keep a close eye on Audra, who's spinning out. Audra promised Sally that she'd have a calm yet energetic presence. But there's just one problem. Clare and Kyle will be in attendance. The last thing Audra needs to do is sabotage her friend's big event. She should be grateful for Sally's friendship. Sally is the one person who will stay on her side and be brutally honest with her. Audra needs someone who can keep her grounded since Nate isn't that person anymore. Everyone in Genoa City is gunning for Audra. The Young and the Restless has created suspense with its whodunit stories. Recently, the show had viewers on edge with a murder mystery in France. But could they be gearing up for another whodunit? Audra has become Genoa City's newest pariah. The businesswoman tends to rub people the wrong way in her career pursuits. Recently, Audra found herself in hot water because of her deal with Victor. Eager to get back into the corporate world, Audra agreed to break up Kyle and Clare in exchange for funding for Vibrante. Now that her and Victor's scheme has been exposed, Audra has lost everything. Not only is her company kaput, but her relationship with Nate is over. One would assume the experience would humble Audra, but she continues to poke the bear. With Audra making so many enemies, speculation on Reddit is that she'll be the next victim in a whodunit mystery. This week has been a prelude to Audra being offed. One fan referred to Audra's showdown with a drunk Clare at Society. "Yeah, I think that we could be heading to a Who Killed Audra story," one viewer replied. If Audra does end up being murdered, there's a long list of suspects. At the top of the list is Clare, whose dangerous side seems to be re-emerging. Kyle can't be counted out either, since he blames Audra for ruining his relationship with Clare. Clare's grandfather Victor has the means of making someone disappear, especially if they're a threat to his family. Maybe the mustache takes care of the Audra problem. Then there's Nate, who is angry over Audra's betrayal, and he accidentally hurts Audra. Perhaps Holden is the culprit because of his past with Audra. Or maybe Audra's other ex, Noah, whose return draws suspicion. Is Mariah going to be the only one with a confession to make? For the Tuesday, September 9th episode of The Young and the Restless, spoiler photos focus on Tessa and Mariah reconnecting, and Mariah potentially confessing the mother of all secrets. Nick attempts to find out what Phyllis knows. Clare and Kyle finally get to discuss last week's debacle. Daniel and Tessa continue to bond over their shared love of music. His guitar skills have improved so much that they collaborated on a song. In the video preview for this week's Y&R, Daniel talks to Tessa, sounding in awe of her and her talents. He calls her beautiful. Unfortunately for Daniel, Mariah shows up in the park, and she needs to talk to her wife. According to spoilers, Mariah finally makes a confession on the Tuesday, September 9th episode. Things look like they either start intensely, or the conversation quickly grows intense between the two. If Mariah is truly revealing what she did on that solo Cassidy first work trip, how will Tessa react to knowing? We're wondering if she will think that this particular secret was worth blowing up their marriage for. Who knows if Nick will actually try to seduce Phyllis, as some fans theorize. But he absolutely wants to know what she knows about Kane and that super-duper AI software that has the power to destroy enemy organizations' finances. The park is hopping because that's where it looks like Nick will try to pump Phyllis for intel. He'll start by warning her about Kane's latest project. Love the look on Claire's face in the first image. That's the look she has been giving Kyle since his poorly timed proposal. Now the two can properly talk about what happened. Maybe Claire will tell Kyle they need to take time before they even move in together. And she may want to tell him about her tipsy tiff with Audra. What will Claire say to Kyle? More importantly, will he actually listen to her words? When she said she needed time, she meant it. This plan could mess up his reconciliation with Sharon. Victoria asked Nick to keep a close eye on Phyllis, who is willing to work with Kane. But Kane isn't willing to work with her. They want to know more about their idea to incorporate artificial intelligence to take over all the companies in Genoa City. The Young and the Restless audience has a bad feeling about this idea. They think it could ruin Nick and Sharon's reconciliation. Adam had wild ideas during their family meeting. He suggested they should do something immoral and illegal. Then, Victoria advised Nick to cozy up to Phyllis for information, but Nick wasn't on board with the idea. He told Adam that he's not going to use Phyllis for intel. Y&R fans on one soap opera message board think this plan could veer off course. The original poster kicked things off by writing, "Well, Nick said he's not going to attempt to get any info out of Phyllis. Anyone think he'll stick to his word? We all know Phyllis is desperate. Most fans aren't convinced. They think he'll eventually cozy up to Phyllis. He might even go as far as to seduce her. Phyllis will take the bait since she's been lonely for some time. One fan joked, "I can't wait to see Nick and Phyllis playing video games with Sharon walking in, looking all deranged." Someone else suggested, "All it takes is a desktop, a kitchen counter, or a stack of hay." Another excited fan wrote, "And Nick and Phyllis have that strong sexual chemistry that keeps Nick back for more all the time. I can see them getting close again." If Nick heeds Victoria's advice, he could bring back the love triangle. YNR viewers just witnessed Nick and Sharon rekindle their relationship in Nick. The two kissed after the murder bloodbath that went down, but their relationship status is currently on pause. Some fans in the thread noted that Nick enjoys his damsels in distress. He was there for Sharon when she was struggling mentally. Now, he'll try to save Phyllis from Kane's grip. What are your thoughts? Do you think Nick will seduce Phyllis to get info out of her? Sound off below in the comments section.